Hey everyone, welcome back to the Instant for Fun podcast. I'm Kirsten, also known as the Instant for Fun on Ravelry. Today is March 10th, 2013, and if you are a new viewer to the show, welcome. If you are an old viewer, welcome as well. So, this is actually take two. It's because I was recording, I was right in the middle of works in progress, and I didn't realize that my mouse was over the stop button on my camera, and it just stopped, and it did not save the footage. So, I'm just going to redo the episode real quick. Plus, I was just in the middle of it anyway, so it's not a big deal. So, I guess let's get to the show for this week. So, for thank yous, like always, I want to say thank you to people who have been understanding that the episode last week was delayed. The episode last week was delayed because I was busy with school. I was out of town, and I was just basically very, very busy. I'll explain why I was out of town later on in the show, but it's not a big deal. I kind of had some fun last weekend, but anyways, also I want to say thank you to people who have been following me on Instagram again. I've been getting a lot more followers on there, a lot more likes. I post daily pictures of myself, what I do, of my knitting, of school, of just basically life in general. And if you have an iPhone or a phone that takes pictures, like for instance, my phone is an Android phone. It's just very simple and easy. And if your phone takes pictures, go and sign up for Instagram. It's an awesome app. You can take photos. It's almost like a daily collage of photos that you take each day. And it can be about anything. It can be about your, oh yeah, I got my hair done today, or it can be, oh yeah, my mannequin's broken, or I'm working on this such and such a project. So if you have an iPhone or an Android phone, please go and join Instagram and follow me at 1D Kirsten. It's going to be linked, not linked, but it's going to be in a caption right here. So you can go and follow me on again. So that's it for thank yous. Again, that's kind of quick for thank yous for this week, but you know, so if you did something nice for me throughout the couple weeks, I haven't been recording. I just want to say thank you very much. So now on to works in progress. So I have one works in progress for this week, and it's finally a sweater. So as you can see here, I'm very excited. This sweater is called the Hewn sweater by Raja E. I'll put it right here. It's very hard. I think it's not German, or could be Danish too, I'm not sure, but it'll be linked right here so you can go and check it out on Ravelry. And it's a free pattern on knitty.com, and I got this, and this is from the Knitty Winter 2012, so it just basically came out. So I like it. It's a very nice cardigan. I picked this out is because the gray yarn is like what I have basically. So I'm knitting this on size US 8 for 5.0 millimeter, and I just basically started. I was working on something else this week, is because I wanted to take not a break from knitting, like not a break from knitting, just like a break from working on Fair Isle, basically. So you'll see that in a little while, but it's just what it looks like so far. Not too jazzy, not too like wow looking yet, but it's just the start of it. The yarn is super nice. The white yarn is Lion Brand Wool Ease in just a plain old off-white colorway. It's just leftovers from Spud the sheep that I just made like a month or so ago. So that's what it looks like. I'm doing the size, let me see, I think it's a size 36 inch bust. So it's not too big, not too small, so I like it to be just a tad bit bigger. I'm usually like around 35 around. That's kind of odd, but I'm usually like around that size. So I really like it so far. I think it's very nice yarn. The fabric is actually pretty decent. So, and you're probably wondering, did you gauge swatch? No, I do not gauge swatch. I know that sounds pretty bad, but usually I get gauge on a lot of things, except for socks. Now for socks, I usually don't get my correct gauge, but for sweaters or for monsters, I know for monsters or stuffed animals you don't really have to worry about that, but usually for shawls, for sweaters, for all that type of other stuff, I usually get gauged for. And usually you're probably thinking, wow, usually a lot of people don't get gauged for sweaters, but sometimes I usually do. So the fabric seems not too loose, not too tight, and I just look at it and cross my fingers that it's going to turn out good. So again, that's what it looks like, and the yarn is Knit City Tweed, and I think it's in the Aura colorway. I don't know, because I lost the tag. I could just look at the other, just like another ball of yarn, but it's clear across the room. And also, I'm recording in a different area of my room today, is because that area usually, like where I normally record, I have to tell you, it is a pigsty. It really is. There's yarn, there's fiber, there's fabric, there's medicine, which is kind of odd. It just has to go back in the bathroom. There's books, there's boxes, there's crap everywhere. So I have to clean that up today so I can get my room back together. So that's it for what am I working on recently. So let me put that over here on the floor. I hope the floor is not dirty. But anyways, so that's it for what am I working on. So basically whips for this show. Now for FOs for this week. I have 3 FOs, so yay. 2 FOs are old. Not really old, but you haven't seen them yet because I haven't recorded in a while. But just let me go with like order on how I finished them. So the first the first FO that I finished that you haven't seen yet are the Diagonal Lace Socks by Wendy D. Johnson. This is what they look like. I knitted these on a size US 2, and I love them. I love how they came out. They fit, like they aren't too tight, they aren't too loose. They're just right. So I really love them. I did block them out. The yarn is super soft. Again, I don't know what brand or like the company of this yarn is, but I have to tell you, it's a really nice yarn. I'm not going to wear these yet, is because, as you all may know, I am having a display in July at the Laughlin Library showing all of my all of my finished objects, my spinning, my sewing, and what I do for my crafting. So basically anything that I make like around now, I'm not going to wear it or not going to use it until the show is basically over, which kind of stinks because I would like to wear it, but what can I do about it? So it's what it looks like. The yarn is absolutely gorgeous. It's not coming out as I would like it. It's coming out more of a brighter orange. It's more like it's a little bit more darker than that. So they're really nice and super soft, and they actually took me a little bit more time to knit these. I don't know why. Usually I can whip out a pair of socks in a week and a half, but this took me like 2.5 weeks to do. But at least it wasn't a year. Like my dad, he knows how to knit, and it took him like 2 years just to knit a pair of socks. But it all depends on the person if they want to knit or not. So again, that's the first FO for this week, and I'll just show you guys the pattern of what it looks like on my hand here. So it's a nice stitch pattern. So these will be great in the summertime, is because it has some lace in it so my feet can breathe. Also here in Vegas, it is getting kind of warm. I think today was like around maybe 75, almost 80 degrees. That's why I'm wearing shorts today, because it is kind of warm. And I think this upcoming Thursday is going to be like 85 degrees, so it's going to be kind of warm. So that's the first FO. The second FO is actually my own design. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I did post a picture of this. This is the what am I calling this? I'm calling this hat Racing to the Top hat. Now again, this is my own design. This is what it looks like. And I'm calling it Racing to the Top is because I put cables in the front of the hat and also in the back of the hat, and this looks like the cables are trying to race each other. So that's why I call it Racing to the Top. Let me put it on for you guys. So this is what it looks like. It's a very nice hat pattern, I think, in my mind. Of course, it's my hat pattern. So this will probably be up for, I was kind of telling everyone's going to be up for free on Instagram, but I think I'm probably going to put it out there for $1.50. is because it does have cables in it. It does have more instructions that you need to do. So it'll probably be out for $1.50, not too much, because you know how Ravelry takes some, like Ravelry takes some, and you get the other half, or like you just basically split the amount of money you get. So it's what it looks like. I did this on a size US 6 4.0 millimeter. So yeah, and I have the Knit Picks City Tweed in the lemon curd colorway. So can't believe I actually remember that without looking at my show notes. Usually I'm awful at remembering colorways, yarn names, not really yarn company names, but just colorway names. So, and the decreases I did are looks like that on the side. So it goes up like a little pyramid, and you just knit like a few rows, makes like a little point. And I was deciding if I want to put a tassel or a pom-pom at the top, and I made a tassel. I sewed it on, and it did not look good. It did not look good at all, so I decided, well, okay, let's make a pom-pom for the top, because I want to do something different, not something that's so plain. So again, that's what I did, put pom-pom at the top, super easy and simple, and it just looks very cute. So I'll definitely be wearing this next winter. Again, it's not winter here anymore, so I'll definitely be wearing this next winter. So very nice. Again, it's going to be up for $1.50 on Ravelry, so you can go and purchase it if you want to. You don't have to, but I would like you to. So this is what it looks like, and I love how I put some cable detail in the front and the back of the hat. So again, that's probably going to be called Racing to the Top. So that's just one of my ideas. Also probably something about racing, because just cables remind me of like racing each other for some reason. I don't know, this is my weirdness, I guess. But anyways, that's second FO. Third FO is I made this little monster. Now you're probably wondering, what monster did you make? I made this monster out of the Big Book of Knitted Monsters by Rebecca Danger. You can go and look at her books on Amazon. I know she did come out like with another book, like Monster Nursery or something for babies probably. So I knit Gort out of this book. I'll show you what he looks like. So Gort looks like this, and I decide I want to make a monster out of one of my hand-spun yarns. Is because I have so many hand-spun yarns now, I just don't know what to do with all of them. So I went into one of my drawers and I found a worsted weight hand-spun that I did probably back in December or so, and I decided to make Gort. Now you're probably thinking right now, oh, just show me the stuffed animal. So this is what Gort looks like. I am very happy on how he turned out. It only took me 2 days to knit him, like 2.5 days. His legs were kind of a challenge because I never done these type of legs before, but they were super easy once you get the hang of it. So he was super easy to knit. I love how he turned out, and I knit. The hand spun is some hand spun gifted. Like, the fiber was gifted to me, and I think this was Falkland, and I got 220 yards out of it, and I do have like a chunk of it left over. So he's super cute. I love how he turned out. I knit him on the size US 6 4.0 millimeter, and I did not have any safety eyes on hand, so I just used felt. So I was just going to put like one big eye like right in the middle and make him like an alien. But then I'm like, well, let's try 2 eyes and see how that looks. So I like the 2 eyes better. So he's super cute. I love how his arms are so floppy and whatnot. So, and he's actually a pretty big monster. He's not small, he's not medium, he's just like basically just right. So he's super cute. I love how I was going to put like a belly button right here, and then I decided, should I or shouldn't I? So then last night I was on the tablet. Actually, I charged up the tablet in a long time, and I was working on the tablet. I was just looking up stuff on YouTube, and I decided, well, let's see how a belly button's going to look. So I put one on him, and I didn't like it. So I just teared it out, and this is what he looks like. So I love how Gort came out. He's definitely going to be in my display in July. So I'm very happy for this little dude. So I bet a lot of the kids in the library, because the library that's in Laughlin, it's not like a kid library, but there's more kid stuff than adult stuff. So I bet a lot of kids will like this little dude, and I just hit myself with his hand in my face, but he's adorable. I love this little dude. So, and I love how the variation of color is in him. There's not, like, it's just a very good colored monster. So that's what I made like a couple days ago, and I am very happy for this little dude. And probably, talking about monsters, I'm probably going to make a little bit more monsters in this book, is because I like doing those type of projects. They're very easy. It only takes me like a couple of hours for a few, or a couple of days for a few monsters. So I'm definitely going to be making more monsters as book. I did make Cecile, the computer monster, and now I just made Gort, so the gym bag monster. So that's what, those are the 3 FOs for this week. So I'm very happy in myself that I got 3 finished objects done. So yeah, so I'm very happy about that. So now I don't have to worry about those projects now. So the monster, he was just like a project that, oh, let's just cast him on and let's see if I can get him done in a couple of days. So, and that's what type of project sometimes I like to do. So that's it for FOs. Now on to spinning. I think this was a couple of weeks, not a couple weeks ago, probably 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago. If I showed this fiber to you guys, probably in the last episode, I'm sorry, so I'm just probably going to show it again. But if I didn't, here it is. So I decided, I guess a couple weeks ago, I wanted to dye up some fiber. And this fiber was gifted to me by, what's her name? Deb, aka Deb C. Quilts on Ravelry. So she gave me some Australian merino wool, and she gave me 9 ounces of it, which was very generous of her to do. And so I dyed up probably around, I don't know, 6 ounces of it, and I probably have 3 ounces of it left. So the color on the screen is not coming out the way it looks in person. The oranges are more of a popsicle orange, I guess you can call it, and this pinky tone is more of like a red, and then like there's like a hot pink. So the camera's not picking up the color at all, but I really like it. I did dye this in a pot. It's because why did I dye this in a pot? I dyed this in a pot is because I didn't have any plastic wrap left to do a hand paint, so I was like, oh, bummed about that. It's because I really wanted to do a hand paint wool, but I dyed this in a pot. So what I did was I throw this in the pot, sat in vinegar for like maybe half an hour, rinsed out the vinegar water, then I put the fiber back in the pot, and I put water in there, and then I just put the Kool-Aid over it. Now, I wanted this fiber to be like a purple or a bluish tone or greenish tone wool, but I went to Walmart and I found the packets of Kool-Aid, and it said, and it was like the colors of the Kool-Aid, like red, blue, orange. And when I came home, all the colors were at least orange or red. I guess I didn't read the packages, because when I did read the packages, it said fruit punch or it said orange. So I don't know why they don't color code like with their names and their packaging together, because sometimes when you're in a hurry you don't want to read. So but anyways, so this is what it looks like. I like it, and this is definitely going to be a summer spin. What I mean by that is I'm definitely going to spin this in the summer, because it just sings summer to me. So I might call this colorway Sun Kiss. So yeah, I'm also, I know it sounds kind of random, but I want to like when I probably get older, I want to have my own yarn and fiber dyeing business, because that seems so, like, I don't know, like, it seems challenging, but also seems like a lot of fun. But anyways, that's just kind of random. But that's one thing for spinning, and again, it's super nice. And the wool is actually kind of more fuzzier than I'm used to. But I think if I do this like a tight ply, I think it won't be as fuzzy. So like when I was dyeing this, it was actually again, like it was taking off, like there was like a lot more excess wool in the dye pot than I was used to. So but anyways, that's one thing for spinning. The color crazed fiber, I'm almost, and I mean almost done with this. I have this much left, at least like maybe an ounce and a half left. So let me see, like that much. I can get that done. Actually, I'm going to get this done tonight. And I was spinning up last night, probably like for an hour or two. And this is how thin it is so far. So I'm definitely going to get like around a heavy fingering to a sport weight out of this yarn. So I'm very happy about this. This is what the colors look like again. And if you don't know this, but I'm actually going to design a pattern, like a shawl pattern, and out of this hand spun. So I don't know really what I'm going to do yet for that pattern. I do have a couple of sketches that I do have what it's going to look like. There's going to be some lace involved. I know that's going to, like, I have to write up a chart and everything. So I'm definitely going to design up a pattern. As you might know, I've been talking about that for a couple weeks now. So I don't know why, but it takes me longer to spin fiber than usually it takes me to knit something. So yeah, but anyways, this is what it looks like. And I love the colors. I love how there's like a little bit of teal in there, like a little bit of lime green. So I love this fiber. And the fiber is actually lovely to spin with. I only had one spot in here that's actually kind of felted. So, but besides that, it was actually very nice to spin with. So again, I have this much left. It's probably just an ounce. It's probably just half of an ounce. So I really like this fiber. So that's definitely going to be, this fiber's definitely going to be done spinning today, plied, and hopefully, cross my fingers, done for you guys next week so I can actually wind up into a ball and get some shawl design on the needles. For what's next for spinning, after that, the color craze fiber is done, I want to spin up the Luette Northern Lights fiber, and this is in the caramel apple colorway. This was gifted to me by Judy. I think, what was her Ravelry name? Oh no. I'm sorry, but I forgot your Ravelry name. I'm so sorry, but her name's Judy. You know who you are. So thank you again for everything. But I want to dye up this fiber. Again, it's the Luette Northern Lights in the caramel apple colorway. It is 113 grams. So I think that's like around 4 ounces. I'm not really good with grams and ounces. I know, like, usually, like, this year in math in school, I get, like, all the algebra stuff. But then, when I get, like, the easy stuff, like fractions or percents or decimals, I'm like, oh no, how do I do that again? But again, like, for algebra and stuff, this pops in my head. But, and if you hear midnight whining in the background, I'm sorry. But, again, this is what I want to spin up next, is because it just screams summer to me. And again, I love the colorway name called Caramel Apple. This makes me hungry. So this is what it looks like so far. Not so far, but this is what the fiber looks like. And it's 100% wool. So it's not super washed or anything, but it'll definitely make a good monster soon. So, and I like it how it's like pencil roving. So that's definitely going to go by quicker, because with pencil roving, you really do not have to draft. So that's what it's going to be next on the wheel. So that's it for spinning for this week. Now, I'm actually going to, I'm going to still do what's next, but I'm actually going to answer a question that a viewer gave to me. So, and Allison, I think that's Alice or Allison, she asked me on Ravelry, how do you prevent ladders while you're doing magic looping or while you're knitting socks? So I thought that was an absolutely great question, so I'm definitely going to answer that for her today. So when I knit, like when I first started to knit, like socks for instance, I didn't use magic loop at all. I thought magic loop was very hard, it seemed difficult, it seemed fiddly, so I just decided not to do magic loop. So I decided that I wanted to do DPNs, and that stands for double point needles. So that's what I did for my first sock. Now, double point needles, they can be very, I don't know, I don't like them anymore, but when you're first beginning to learn how to knit socks, I do recommend those first, is because you get the hang of knitting in the round with smaller needles, with smaller yarn. So, Alice, if you are knitting on if you're knitting on magic loop, I do recommend you to switch over to double point needles so you can get the hang of knitting with smaller needles and smaller yarn. But if you don't want to do that, I do recommend like I have 3 recommendations for you, is to make sure that your tension is okay, make sure that your gauge is right, and you're paying attention to the pattern. So let me go over those 3 things real quick. So for tension, now when I do tension is I wrap the yarn around my pinky, underneath my my ring finger, my middle finger, and I go over my pointer finger. Now that's called flickering. Now if you don't do flickering, you can always do the you drop the yarn every time you do a stitch. Now that could be your problem, is because if you do that, if you just drop your yarn every time, you can have a stitch that's looser than another. And so when you are going, like if you are going from a needle to needle and you're just dropping the yarn each and every time, that could be your problem, is because that'll just let the yarn do whatever it wants to do. But if you have tension on the yarn, it will make your stitches more tighter and more fitted to the fabric that you need. Also, by gauge, if you have gauge, like if you are getting gauge, that's fantastic, but if your gauge is a little bit off, you want to make sure that your gauge is right on track, is because if you don't, sometimes you can get ladders when you are going from needle to needle. It's because your yarn is deciding that, oh, I want to do this besides doing whatever you want to do. And also, last thing is, make sure that you're paying attention to what you're doing in the pattern. It's because I know sometimes when you are doing pattern, you can get a yarn over at the beginning of the round when you are doing magic looping, and that can also prevent ladders. So like sometimes when you are first knitting socks or a sweater or whatever you're knitting, you can get a yarn over in the beginning of your magic looping round. It's because you don't know like on how to separate your yarn from your needles. So I hope that helps. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, but if it did, please let me know. Is because I would love to know. If any other of you guys have a question for me that you want it to be answered, please leave them in the thread below, like of this episode thread, or I can always start a thread for you guys of called answering questions or whatever you want. So I hope that helped, and this also to keep in mind, just practice and practice and practice. I know when I first started to learn to do magic looping, I did have ladders, and I did not like ladders. I hated ladders. I just thought it was I just didn't like it at all. But when you get the hang of it, when you get the correct tension, when you get the correct gauge, you are going to not have any more ladders. So, and what I mean by ladders, if you don't really know what ladders are when you're magic looping, let me get my socks here, is when you are magic looping, for instance, this is what your fabric's going to look like. One side's going to have one set of stitches, and the other side's going to have another set of stitches. And when you are magic looping, you're switching from needle to needle, and you don't have like 3 or 4 needles, you only have 2. And so one set of stitches lays on a cable, another set of stitches lays on a cable, and you just switch back and forth, if you know what magic looping is. But sometimes when you are doing magic looping, you go from needle to needle, you can get ladders that are going to be on the side of your work. And what I mean by the side of your work is, again, one side's going to have one set of stitches, another side's going to have another set of stitches, but this side doesn't have any set of stitches. It's just going to have yarn that you're going to pull on tight so it can have a nice even stitch right there. So that's what ladders are, sort of. That was a good explanation. I can also do a separate video on ladders if you want to show you like demonstrations of what ladders actually look like, of me showing you how to prevent them, but I might do that for you. So you know who you are. I think her name's Alice or Allison. I'm so sorry. You're so sweet too, because you always leave a comment on every episode, but again, I haven't really been on Ravelry too much or on basically doing this show lately, so I'm so sorry, but I did answer your question, I hope, and please let me know if that helps. So again, I hope that helps. So anyways, let's get on to what's next, like what's next I'm going to do for knitting. I have been wanting to do a monster design for I don't know how many months, ever since probably last year or so. So like as I was knitting Gort the other day, I was like, what can I do to like what type of yarn can I use to design a monster. So that's what I really want to do, is design one of my very own monsters and put up on Ravelry for you guys. So that's one thing for what's next. Also for what's next is, if you watch the Knittables podcast, she has a KL basically almost every month or every other month, and she's doing a KL right now, and it's called, I forgot what it's called, but she has to knit something out of socks that rock if you have some. So I have some socks that rock, and this one is in the Launch Nest colorway. It's in the lightweight, and again you can knit something out of lightweight, medium weight, or heavyweight. And so again I have lightweight, and so I'm like, well, this is going to be an awesome KL. I can knit anything I want, but it has to be out of socks that rock. So I want to participate in that. So if you have any suggestions on what I can do with this particular colorway, please message me, because I would love to know. So that's excuse me, that's another thing for what's next. Whew. My voice is getting kind of out today because I don't have any liquid in here so I can drink something. But also I want to do the Earthen by Allison Plummer, or Plumer I think it is. That's the Easy Basic hat. I think she just came out with that pattern, and she is also one of my favorite knitting designers. If you didn't know that, it's Allison Plumer. She has great stuff for kids, for adults, for any type of, for basically anyone. And I think she just started to design, I think, last year, and she has a couple of patterns out. I don't know if she has any books out, but I know that she has a couple of, like, maybe 15 or so patterns out there on Ravelry for paid and for free. So the Earthen hat is by her, and it is out on Ravelry for free, so you can go and check it out. So yeah, so I really like that pattern. I'm definitely going to knit that out of some yarn. I think I have some Manos, so I might make it out of that. So I have to rearrange my yarns and see what I can do to see like what I can make that hat with, because again, my yarn is like scattered all over my room. So yeah, so that's it for what's next for the show. For sewing, I haven't done a lot of sewing in a long time. I'm very mad at myself. I haven't had any mojo lately. I think it's because my room is so messy, like my crafting area. I have to like not sew. So I'm going to clean that up today, and I'm going to start to sew soon. But anyways, also speaking about sewing, I was talking about how Lucy has been broken for the past couple of weeks or so, but she's finally fixed. She is finally standing up. You can see she is a little bit wobbly, but I can still work with her. What was the matter with her is her feet on the bottom they were totally off, and so my dad, he fixed the feet while I was gone last week, and so yeah, so I was very happy, and I'm hoping that her feet are still going to stay. So, but yeah, so she's fixed. I'm definitely going to start designing on her again. Also, I also have a quilt in mind. I know Leslie of the Knit Girls, she was showing her quilt that she was making. That was like a tree, like tree fabric with a big heart in the middle, like with initials. So, I'm thinking about doing that quilt. I think it's a very nice, sweet little quilt, so that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do, because I think it's very easy and it's very simple. It's a simple applique, and so yeah, so I think it's on Pinterest. I forgot what it's called, but you can go and check out their podcast, Knit Girls, and I think Leslie is making one right now. Also, sorry, I can't have the burps today for some odd reason, but anyways, I also want to do a box bag out of some very cute fabric that I have. You'll see it soon. It's just some fisherman fabric that I think is very cute. So yeah, so I might be going to Florida this summer. So let's put that little hint out there, so when I have a project, I can bring that bag with me. Because when I think of Florida, I think of fish and stuff. So who doesn't? Because it's just basically water out there. Also, I've also been thinking about a sew-along. Now, if you know how to sew, you can also hand sew or machine sew. If you know how to do any type of sewing, I'm thinking about doing a sew-along probably this summer or so. is because I haven't really seen anything lately on so-longs, or I never like really seen any of that in any of their groups. So I think if I can like start that type of like a knit along, not like knit along or knit something, if I can start that type of, I don't know, group, I guess, I think it will probably become popular or so. So I hope I can do so long this summer. I'm thinking about we can do so long, probably just for, I don't know, maybe a quilt square or two, and we can probably, it's just like the knit girl, just have the knit girl to do like an Afghan square swap, but we can do a quilt swap or whatever. So I'm thinking about doing that this summer. I'm not sure yet, that's just on the tip of my mind. So if you know how to sew, I would love for you guys to give me some feedback on that. So that's it for sewing for this week. Now for Midnight Stories. For Midnight Stories, he did get a haircut, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I think I mentioned this in my last show. Did I? Yeah, so I did mention that. No, I didn't mention that in my last show. Let me see. No. But, anyway, so Midnight did get a haircut 2 weeks ago. He does look very pretty. So he looks absolutely 10 times more better, because when he did have all that hair on his like body, it made me sneeze. It was all over everything. It was all over my shirts, on my clothes, on my yarn, my wheel, on every little thing out there. So he does look 10 times as better at when he used to. So, and also I was talking about earlier in the show that I did go on I was out of town last weekend, and so I was out of town with my, sorry, my book just fell, I meant to say, but anyways, I was out of town with my grandmother last weekend. I was in Bullhead, Arizona, and in Laughlin, Nevada. So I was out there for, let's say, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So I was out there for 4 days. So I just went out there with her. I was helping her organize things and just having some fun. So just taking off time, just a little bit of time off of school, not too much. Didn't have too much homework to do, so like makeup or whatever. So I did have a lot of fun out there with her. And so I'm definitely going to go out there again on Easter break. My spring break starts at the end of March, so I only have spring break like for a week. I know like a lot of people have like for 2 weeks or something, but I only have it for a week. And I'm definitely going to go out there again and go out to Bullhead, to Laughlin, and definitely Lake Havasu. And Lake Havasu is like around 2.5, 3 hours from Bullhead, so nothing too long, but you know. And then also when I came home from the trip, like the little mini vacation trip, I guess you can call it, Midnight was very happy to see me. And also I didn't have my keys when I came into the door. I just didn't have any. My grandma, she had my house key, and the house key did not want to work, and so I was trying to open up the doors, because we have a door that's over here that goes out to the back porch, and a door over here that goes out to the driveway. So Midnight was just like hysterically barking. He thought I was like a burglar or something, but I think when he heard my voice like through the window, like I came up to my brother's window and he was like right there, and I think he knew who I was. So he was actually barking hysterically. Like he has a really deep, vicious bark. Now Midnight, he's not a vicious dog whatsoever. He's just a very nice, sweet, loving dog. If any guys, one of you met him, he'd probably lick you to death. But if he doesn't like really know who you are, and if you come into our house, like for instance like the UPS man or FedEx man or mailman, he just acts hysterical, and his bark is like really, I don't know, big bark. And plus he's a big dog anyway, so he was acting very weird when I came home, but when I came inside the house he was licking me to death. But anyways, so that's it for Midnight Stories for this week. Also, other stuff, I want to say, what am I going to say? I've been watching the Knitting in Circles podcast. recently I just started to watch them. It's Amy and Darren on the Knitting Circles podcast, so go and check them out. I really like them. I think Amy is absolutely amazing. I think she can do like a sweater in a couple of days or weeks or something like that. I don't know, but she is absolutely fantastic, and plus her husband knows how to knit, which is absolutely great, because a lot of guys, they don't like to knit. They think that's more for us women, but I think that's absolutely great. You can go and check them out if you haven't already. It's Knitting in Circles podcast.blogspot.com. I'll put the caption in right here, so you can go and check them out. Let's see, test knitters. Now, for the shawl design, I do need a couple test knitters. I'm thinking about doing 3, so I know one person did contact me that they do want to do a test knit for the shawl, but I need 2 other more. So if you want to do a test knit of my shawl design pattern when I finally get the fibers spun up and actually make one of my own, please let me know so I can get the pattern out to you and test knit it for me. Also, I got a little makeover done yesterday at the mall. I went to Sephora and I got a little makeover done because I don't wear makeup at all, basically, but I decided I wanted to get a makeover, so that's what I did. And it was actually very fun because the lady, she was actually helping me on how to put, like, she did one eye and I did the other, and it actually turned out kind of good. So I can show you guys a picture of what it looked like. So I'm actually wearing the same shirt that I did yesterday, but that's just what it looks like. I posted on Instagram, so that's what my eyes look like. So, and my eyes itched me to death the whole entire day, so that's why I don't wear makeup and all, because it just really bothers my eyes. Plus, I don't really need it because I have long eyelashes as it is, but I do wear blush here and there because I am actually very, very pale, like in the winter. But when it's like hot outside, I'm not pale at all because my cheeks get red and I get very flustered. So that's what it looks like. Like, I got a little makeover done yesterday, so I did post on Instagram. So I had a lot of fun because my brother got a haircut, and his haircut did not turn out good. The lady she cut it off very short, which he didn't want it. He wanted to have a shag haircut, and she gave him a haircut that was above his ears, so he's upset about that. But you know, what can you do? Your hair will definitely grow back. So that's it for this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm definitely more willing to happy to talk to you guys again this week. There's definitely going to be another episode next week. I hope there's going to be an episode next week. Probably be out of town again. I hope not, but I'm, again, very, very busy. But also I want to mention my shirt. If you probably want, if you already saw this already on the show, probably did, because I've been wearing this the whole time on the show. But I am wearing this shirt called Thing 8. If you didn't know, but Dr. Seuss's birthday was last Saturday. And this is actually my grandma's shirt, and it's got too small for her, so she just gifted it to me. So I like this shirt a lot. I've been wearing it like maybe 3 days in a row now, but I definitely know it doesn't smell or anything, but it's still clean. So I definitely like this shirt. So I actually not a big fan of Dr. Seuss, but I think it's cute, and all the like, there was some kid in the mall, and I don't know, he was probably like around 7 or 8, and he says, "Oh, look, that girl has a Thing 8 shirt on." And I'm like, yeah, I do. But anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed the show this week. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe to the channel at the top. Please join the Ravelry group. And I hope my tooth is okay right here. I don't know why I just did that. That's kind of random. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And yes, please like, please subscribe, please join the Ravelry group. Please tell people about my show so I can get a lot more views. And so, yeah, and I really appreciate it if you do. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next week for episode 30, which I think it is, which is actually kind of wild because I've actually been doing this for a while now. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next week for episode 30. So take care. Bye.